Good morning, fam. The past couple days, the Lord has really been speaking to me to remember that a servant is not above its master. If they persecuted him, they'll persecute us. If they obeyed his teaching, they would obey ours, because our teaching is his teaching.
Where were we at last night? I just forgot.
Small group. And so when we speak of the things that Jesus was teaching and how the world was going to be before he returned, a lot of people would not be accepting of it, and we would be persecuted for speaking on it, but all the more should we speak on it. Jesus said, "Blessed are you when you are persecuted and insulted and falsely blessed are you when people insult you and falsely say all kinds of evils about you because of me, but rejoice and glad, because greater in heaven is your reward." We're gonna experience opposition, and not many people are gonna be wanting to accept the truth that is the gospel. And in Joel, we're told that the Lord says, "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. Even on my servants, both men and women, I will pour out my spirit in those days, and I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and billows of smoke. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and the dreadful day of the Lord, and everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved." And this is the same thing that the apostles were saying once Jesus was resurrected and ascended into heaven, the last days. And Liam woke up this morning and was telling me about a dream he had. And if I can recall correctly, you had part of this dream again, like you were at Mount Horeb in another dream? Or did I understand that wrong?
It was the same dream.
The same dream. You had this dream twice, right?
And Mount Ararat. It was the same dream. It wasn't a dream twice.
Okay. Two separate locations. Mount Horeb and Mount Ararat, which are very prominent mountains in the Bible. Mount Ararat is where Noah's Ark landed, and Mount Horeb is where Moses was given the 10 Commandments.
Why did you say Moses?
It's also Mount Sinai.
Why did you say Moses' Ark? It was Noah's Ark.
Huh?
It's Noah's Ark.
What did I say?
Moses' Ark.
I meant Noah's Ark. Out of the mouth of babes. Slow down, Brittany. Slow down.
Sorry, guys.
No, thank you for interfering and correcting. Thank you. But Mount Horeb in the dream was Roosevelt and Cedar Rapids, and you were there with two friends, Lucas and Marcus, and there were pink clouds, and there's ash coming out of the clouds.
No, there was ash in the clouds because they were pink. Because they asked me as a friend, "Why are you running? It's hot. Where are you going?" And they said, "Wither storm." And there's pink clouds, and there was ash in the clouds, and they were running for cover, and you couldn't breathe it in. So he remembered putting his face like this. My breathing mask on.
And you put it in your shirt first, right?
Yeah,
and then
I took it out, and Lucas gave me
his breathing, well, all of us breathing masks, and then I just watched something on my phone. Since I'm 8 right now, but I was older, I was like 12.
Yeah. So his friend Lucas gave him a mask, and they needed to wear the mask until the wither storm passed. And then, so he was a little bit older in his dream, so he pulled out his phone and just watched something until the wither storm passed. Did you guys make it?
Mom, if I had coffee grounds poured on me in a tiny box, I would be screaming. It would smell.
I know you wouldn't like that. Did you make it to shelter? Or were you guys still outside?
We were still outside.
Still outside.
I asked someone, can we get in the car? And then they just said. And then they just sat there because the music was so loud. I could hear it when the windows were rolled up.
I've played music that loud before. But it made me think, like Jesus said, Matthew 16, the Pharisees and the Sadducees came to Jesus and tested him by asking him to show them a sign from heaven. He replied, "When evening comes, you say it'll be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but can you not interpret the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation look for a sign, but none will be given it except the sign of Jonah." And then Jesus left them and went away. And so
there's another box in Minecraft. I know the name.
So I'm going in
Oh,
it.
God, give me it. Have you seen like a blue thing at the bottom?
One moment.
That blue thing in Minecraft? It was in the Ender City.
Blue Boss Ender City Minecraft.
The warden!
The warden?
You can get a picture of it. That could be the, so Satan is the Ender Dragon, the wizard is the false prophet, and then the Antichrist is the warden. And I've defeated all of them, Mom.
Love that.
I've defeated the warden like 1,000,000 times in the lava from the nether. I've defeated the wizard before, and I've defeated the Ender Dragon in creative mode.
That's fantastic. And you know, that's the thing. We have triumphed over them by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. We did not love our life so much as to shrink away from death. Jesus said, you know, we should be willing to lose our life, because by losing our life we save it, which doesn't make sense to the world. But I'm looking into this a little bit because God has been showing me for a while that Minecraft is just, and like AI is, and in the tribulation there's going to be a false satanic trinity. It's going to be the false prophet, which establishes himself over the house of God, who portrays to be God, who he's the Antichrist. He is not against Jesus, it's in place of Jesus, and it establishes itself as a type of Christ, and people worship him instead. And then there is the beast, and there is Satan, right? False prophet, the beast, and the dragon. The Antichrist, the false prophet, and the beast.
I can't believe I defeated all of them. So long, Satan!
The Lord rebuke you,
And
Satan.
if I ever play it again, I can.
Anyways, I'm looking into this, and the wither storm is interesting. And it just makes me think of this Bible verse. Revelation 13. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs, it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast. It deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword, yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath of the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. And then it talks about the mark of the beast. It forced people to get both small and great, poor and rich, free and slave, to receive the mark of the beast, which you will not be able to buy or sell or trade or obtain anything without this. And, I do believe the false prophet is AI.
That's what a lot of people believe.
Yeah, I do, because
Mom,
it's
watch.
deception.
Look.
And it is
No, watch.
false realities portraying itself to be
Watch.
truth. I am in the middle of something. I do not want to get distracted by cats right now. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to show you the
And
kitten.
when you look at these things that they're showing our children, it's desensitizing them to the things that are going to be happening. And a lot of these kids, they know of Jesus, and I believe that Jesus is nearer to our kids than we would even know, because they are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, children. And Jesus has clearly said, woe to those who cause one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble. It would be better if you tied a millstone, a huge grinding stone, around your neck, and you threw yourself
I don't know who Jesus
into the
is in
sea.
Minecraft still was. Herobrine. He's the most powerful one in Minecraft. He can teleport. He's like Steve. Only with white eyes. Kind of like fire in the middle of fire. It's white, like Jesus' eyes when he comes back. Or in John's vision, his eyes was fire.
They were fire. You're right. And so, I think that's very important how Jesus says to be in the world but not of the world, because had my son not played these video games, we would have nothing to put together these pieces of how it's the end of the script, which is all God's plan, is being portrayed to us. We can see it. We have evidence of we have been predispositioned to what is going to happen in these last days prior to it happening, to see if we're paying attention, if we are preparing ourselves spiritually for what is going to come upon, and to be available for God to use us to reach those who might not be aware. I haven't got it all figured out. I could spend the rest of my life trying to figure it out, and I still would not get it figured out. We are not to lean on our own understanding. But when God gives us a thing to speak on, we are supposed to go and speak on it. And I, believe that God has allowed the enemy to establish this video game in ways to see if we're paying attention. Recently we've been talking about how in the Old Testament, God sent Israel's enemies to attack them because Judah and Israel were preparing, but not spiritually. They weren't leaning on God to give them the wisdom to move forward. They were relying on their own wisdom, and they weren't obeying God's precepts. They were doing things their own way. But it's right. This is called the warden, and we got the wither. It's really interesting.
I forgot what they look like.
It's really interesting because hold on, I moved from it.
Look at both of the wardens.
I moved from it. And the wither it literally says an undead boss mob. Sorry, that can fly and fire explosive skulls at its targets.
Yep. But it can die.
It is considered one of the two main bosses in the end game. Well, that's the thing, Liam. That's the thing.
But you can't unlock it until after you defeat the Ender Dragons. Then you have to go back to the world, and then you have to go probably back to where the Ender Dragon is, and then
the beast dies and then is brought back to life in Revelation. I don't know. I just think that Jesus said the signs, there will be wars and rumors of wars. There will be earthquakes and pestilence and famines, and brother will betray brother, and kingdom against kingdom, and if possible, even the most elect would be deceived. Recently, we were talking about in Isaiah how God's people they weren't seeking God, they weren't listening to God, they weren't. I'll go to the passage because it's. Then the hordes of all the nations that fight against Ariel, that attack her and her fortress. Ariel is, remember we went over this once. I kind of forgot about it, but
Ariel is real.
Ariel, they call it Ariel in this passage, kind of, but it means Lion of God.
What?
And
what does Ariel usually mean?
I don't know, but it's like the only time God refers to it as Ariel, but the kingdoms are still separated at this point. There's Judah and there's Israel. There's the 2 tribes and there's the 10 tribes. But God's talking about all his people. It's Ariel, which is kind of like you think about aerial view. It's you see all around you. Different spelling, but that's where my brain's going, like Ariel. God's ways are higher than our ways. He's got heaven's point of view. He's got an aerial point of view. We can only see what's right. What's right here. God's ways are so much higher. Anyways. The hordes of all the nations that fight against Ariel, that attack her and her fortress and besiege her, will be as it is with a dream, with a vision in the night, as when a hungry person dreams of eating, but awakens hungry still. As when a thirsty person dreams of drinking, but awakens faint and thirsty still. So it will be with the hordes of all the nations that fight against Mount Zion. And he's talking about all the nations, but it's going to happen that Assyria is going to come against Israel. They don't listen to Isaiah. They don't listen to the prophets. They don't listen to the seer. They're like, tell us pleasant things. Don't stop confronting us with the Holy One of Israel. And Assyria comes, but it goes on like he will not kill the enemies with a sword. But the angel of the Lord, one angel of the Lord comes and kills 185,000 of the Assyrian in one night, just boop, 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 dead. And let me gather my thoughts. And so Assyria is present day Syria. And there's nothing new under the sun. And in December 2025, Trump urged Netanyahu to maintain relations with Syria.
Netanyahu, oh, the Prime Minister of Ariel.
Ariel, yes.
No, they say the brother, they say the sister of Israel is Ariel.
So these are Trump's words. It is very important that Ariel, maintain a strong and true dialogue with Syria, and that nothing takes place that will interfere with Syria's evolution into a prosperous state. It says the U.S. leader has been pushing for a security pact between Israel and Syria since President Ahmed al-Shara's Islamist coalition overthrew longtime ruler Bashar al-Assad a year ago. And it's a lot for me to process, but I do know they did overthrow him. Assad, he fled to Russia and got... he's been there. And al-Shara has been the president of Syria since January 2025. It's been about a year. But in December of 2024, Trump released the $10 million bounty that the U.S. had put on al-Shara because he was part of Al-Qaeda. And as it says here, Islamist coalition, he's part of the HTS. I might not have all the things, but you can look into it. And it is a terrorist organization. And it's a $10 million bounty they had on this man. They lifted it, and then the next month he became the president of Syria. And he's been invited to the White House. And it just... you put the pieces together and it's all going according to God's plan, but are we paying attention? You know, it goes on here in Isaiah to say...
Minecraft tools.
But we got the greatest tool of them all right here, guys. Like, be stunned and amazed. Blind yourself and be sightless. Be drunk, but not from wine. Stagger, but not from beer. The Lord has brought over you a deep sleep. He has sealed your eyes, the prophets, and he has covered your heads, the seers. And it's kind of what we're talking about right now. The King James Version is, let me see. Give me a second. I try not to lead on commentary, but my words are not doing justice right now for God's word because, I mean, nothing can compare. It's the infallible word, and it's flawless. But the be drunk but not from wine, stagger but not from beer, the Lord has brought over you a deep sleep. Describe a spiritual stupor of Jerusalem, where the people are spiritually blind and drunk, not with wine, but with folly and stupidity. The prophet Isaiah warns them to pause and wonder at their condition, as they have become spiritually drunk and are not aware of their danger. Their spiritual drunkenness is a result of their pride and self-indulgence, leading to blindness and a lack of self-awareness. The prophet then describes the consequences of this spiritual drunkenness, which includes the spirit of deep sleep being poured out on them, causing them to stagger, and not with intoxicating drink, but with the inability to see their own danger. The spiritual drunkenness is a result of their pride and self-indulgence, leading to blindness and a lack of self-awareness. And it perfectly sums up the condition of all things. But let's be honest, America and even the church as a whole right now. We are relying on our president and our military to handle the wars and the rumors of wars, when we are in a war right now, just being right here. But we are told that no king is saved by the size of his army, and no warrior escapes by his great strength. The horse is a vain hope for deliverance, despite all its strength it cannot save. The horse is also like military machines and of the like. The horse was the transport in war back then. So I think of to it airplanes, tanks, submarines. I think of it in that sort. You know,
What the heck?
for a lot of this journey, there's a song from the Good News Guys. I don't know if it came from someone, but it's trust in the Lord, just like Gideon. With God's help, we can win. When odds are not the best, in God's plan we will rest. So let's trust in the Lord, just like Gideon. And it's the same like David. If you went and saw the movie with David, he approaches Goliath.
You mean the movie David?
The movie David, sorry.
David, I'll be like,
She saw David? What? No, the movie David just came out. And
yeah, I saw David.
the whole army of Israel is terrified to fight the giant. And little David comes out and he's like, it's not by sword or spear or javelin that the Lord delivers, for the battle is the Lord's. And it's not us who approach our giants and our enemies. It's the God inside us. The same power that rose Jesus from the dead lives inside of us. And it's not us against a giant. It's God in us against a giant. And if God be for us, who could be against us? In the story of Gideon, he starts out with like 33,000 men, and he's terrified. He's like, there's no way. The story's a beautiful story. It's in Judges 6 and 8, I do believe. Joshua, Judges, Ruth. 6 and 7. And he's already like 33,000. That's not enough men. And God's like, you got too many men. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, tell the ones who are fearful to go home. And what was it? 20,000, Liam? 22,000? 20,000.
He had 12. He had
20,000.
He had 10,000 left.
22,000 went home, and they went on, and God's like, that's still too many men. I need you to take the men down to the water. And the ones who lap it down like a get down on their hands and knees and lap it like a dog, they go home. But the ones who cup it in their hand, they
bend down like a squatter.
Bend down like a squatter and cup it in their hands and drink it the water. Those are the ones that will be the ones that go into battle with you. And 300 men. And if you think about it, the ones that bend down and lap it like a dog, they can't see what's going on. They're not aware of what's going on. But the ones who bend down like a squatter, thank you, Lamb, and they cup it like this and they drink it, they can still see what's going on while they are hydrating themselves. And so he sent the ones that lapped it up like a dog, is what it states. And 300 men were left out of the 32,000. 300. And Gideon's like, that's it. We're toast. And they had 1% of the army they started with, and they completely obliterated the Midians. They went in and they stormed at night, and actually they smashed their jars and they confused them, and they turned on each other. And God not only contends with those who contends with us, but he confuses and confounds the camp of the enemy. And they're like, oh no, what do we do? And they start going in on each other. And so there's a lot here. I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm going to end with the Lord.
You know what I want for breakfast? Eggs, bacon, chocolate pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes, and a yogurt parfait.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Oh, and some chocolate milk to drink. So that's what he's doing.
I'm going to use David's words with this. The Lord is with me. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? The Lord is with me. He is my helper, and I will look in triumph on my enemies. He is our ever-present help. And sometimes it might look very uncertain and a little scary, but he says, do not be afraid, for I'm with you. Do not be dismayed, for I'm your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And so we just need to be aware, and we need to speak out. Like, you might not have the words, probably won't, but I do believe if you trust in God, he's going to give you the words to say that is going to hit on the message he's trying to say with what he's showing you. And that's when we lean not on our own understanding. So I love you. I pray that the Lord strengthens you and encourages you and equips you with every good thing you need to carry out his will in his life. His will in your life. Love you.